Hello, retro fans. Welcome to another episode of C64 Customs, and as you may have recognized, that I'm making some progress in my, well, let's call it new studio. I've changed a couple of settings, so I hope the sound is going to be a little bit better this time. I mean, I'm still sitting in this huge room. I have a lot of hall in the microphone audio. But I have reduced the lower frequencies a little bit, so hopefully it's going to be better. And well, I'm trying to work on this topic as well, and maybe I'm going to move to a headset with microphone, and I have some sound as well while gaming, and I can chat without having this audio distortion. Anyway, it was kind of a challenge to get this video into the line, because I was really trying to get everything together. I was trying to test everything, and I had to search for cable, and I have to set up the C64 and all that stuff. So it's really moving a recording place from one place to another. It's really very messy progress. And I thought I've placed everything in boxes, kind of grouped into topics or something like this, like cameras and lights and FrameMeister and power supplies and cables and all that stuff. It is a whole new story to start from scratch, kind of, and hopefully it's going to work. As you may have seen in the title, I have received something and I want to unbox and I want to test this. So let's stop the chit chat and jump right into the topic. And here we are, and let's really jump right onto my desk. And as you can see, I have prepared my C64, the very same you can see in the intro, and it's still my custom built kind of demo / gaming C64 with a couple of modifications, and especially the FPGA set as the sound source, and a couple of other things like an kernel ROM with 8 different kernels and all that things. But the main part is going to be this box, and let's open it right now to see what's going to be inside. So, more adhesive on this side. And pills. And as usual, Protovision flyer. This side. And here it is, all the way around. Planet X 2.1, and I really have to admit I was very excited as I was learning about this release, because I was kind of a fan of the first release of the Planet X2, but it came as a disc version, which is not bad by default, but I mean, as a more or less frequent visitor of my channel, you may know that I'm a profound fan of cartridges. And as I've learned that this game is going to be released on cartridge, and it's going to be released with additional features, I was really very excited. And I went straight to the Protovision shop to order it, and here it is. Let's have a look inside. As you can see, the box artwork is fantastic. As usual, very glossy, very colorful, and it's really superb quality. Then we got some sort of a manual. Basically holding the same colors. Welcome, some instructions with a loose C64 keyboard. That's very nice. And some colorful keys, a very interesting idea. So perhaps that's something I will take into consideration. And well, some explanation. This is not going to be a review of the game itself. It's probably just going to be a review of, let's say, the additional features. And if you are interested in a review of the game itself, I will link to my previous video where I have tested and played the first version. So we may just have to pick a couple of instructions about the new features and how to activate them inside the game, but it's probably not going to be covered by this one. And well, as main difference, this game got some new graphics. It has been put onto a cartridge. It got some keyboard control sheet, which is very, very useful because if you haven't played it for quite a while, then you may have to remember what kind of keys you have to use, because this game is controlled by keys only, so no joystick, nothing like this, pure keys, and therefore it's going to be very helpful to have something like this on hand. And we got Planet X 2.1 cartridge. As usual, a very nice cartridge, very glossy, nice stickers. And well, it looks indeed very professional to me. So I'm very happy with this appearance so far. And as a little gimmick, we got this little toy, sort of a caterpillar or digger or something like this. It looks a bit like the one used in the game, which is probably going to be your main tool. And that's a very, very nice idea. So let's place this onto the C64. And I think let's make some space here. And well, let's start the game. So fingers crossed, this is going to work. I mean, I've tested it a couple of times. But well, as I said, it's a kind of new setup, and perhaps it is a bit fragile at the beginning, but fingers crossed. There is the logo, so the game has started. I hope we get some sound. And here by myself, so this quite quickly. It is recording something, I think, but I can't hear it. Oh, so let's assume it is working, and let's try to start the game. So basically, as we can see, we have some control keys. We can change the music, we can browse, we can move the controls, movement controls, we can toggle the music, we get the rest keys for moving our units, and we can select drivable units directly, and we can switch through the structures by using those keys. So let's see if we can start the game. Pressing wait. Really strange that I can't hear a thing, but got some audio level, so I assume it is recording some audio. So as you may have noticed, this is a whole new screen, and there's basically no loading time. I mean, the purpose, or let's say the concept of the first Planet X2 release was that the game loads all content once, and then you're never going to need the disk again. And so the initial loading took a little bit longer, depending whether you're using some speed loaders or something like this. But then you could play the game without any loading interruption, something like this. But putting the game on a cartridge provides the opportunity to cram in even more stuff, more features, and a new intro screen. So everything looks a little bit polished and shiny to me. And as we can see, we have 3 options basically: start the game, select map, difficulty. So let's check this one first. Easy, medium, hard. Easy. Well, I think for quick gameplay, let's stick to easy. I've played the first release on medium and hard is really hard. So I never managed to win a map on hard. So I had a couple of wins on medium. Is it medium? Medium, yes. On medium difficulty, but there you really have to put your things together. It's really challenging already, but on hard I have actually no idea how to manage certain maps. So, talking about maps, as I've learned, we got some new maps, and we can select them from this menu right now. As far as I remember, there have been some differences in the releases, so I'm actually not really sure, but I thought there was one release with some additional maps, but maybe it was a special edition or something like this. I'm not really sure, but as we can see, we can cycle through those maps, and I think Forest was the first map and probably one of the easiest maps. So let's have a look at this map, and as we can see, the game is immediately ready to play, and we can turn off the music. Yep, no music, hopefully, and we can move our little builder in the middle of the screen, which is supposed to be this one. And there is, well, indeed some, let's say, similarity. Well, kind of. And as we can see, we have already 2 units, so we may switch to the other one. Nope. So this is 0. Yeah. And one of the first missions is probably to find some resources in order to harvest a couple of things, which we need to build additional units. So probably 1 resource for gas. And unfortunately, I got the first Planet X somewhere in the box, and because the manual contained a collection of maps, so I could use this to, or has some orientation, and one of the main goals is basically to collect diamonds or crystals or whatever we want to call this, and we have to drop them here, and then we can go to our facility and we can process minerals. It's probably going to take some time, so let's move back to our unit and see whether we can get another one. So as long as our factory is processing, we can produce something. Can't do that. Okay, then let's pick up. Yep, that's working. And what? Yep. So as you can see, the controls are very easy and it's not really hard to learn this. It's probably going to be a little bit more challenging when the action starts and you're really going to be busy defending your base or attacking the enemy or building structures or something like this. Then this game is indeed able to apply some pressure, and you really have to try to stay informed about your units and where everything is placed in order to have a good orientation. And basically there are, well, let's say two main strategies. So you can build tanks and use the tanks to attack the enemy, or you build basically kind of a rocket silo, and then you fire rockets at your enemy. And as you may guess, there is indeed a difference in this approach, because those rockets require a lot of resources, and probably at the beginning it is easier to build tanks. I'm kind of having a hard time using tanks against defense towers, and therefore I was mostly going for the middle option, which takes a little bit longer, but especially on the hard difficulty, it is really tricky to get the required resources. So let's build a tank. I think this can come in handy. Driveway blocked, yes indeed, because we placed our crystal there. So oh, now it's creating a new tank. Interesting. Okay. So it is not activated by default, but by key number 2 we can move the tank. So let's see whether we can create some more tanks. I think we're going to use them. And the interesting thing is that we can set the tank to sentry mode, so it acts like a defense tower, and in this case it is basically working autonomously, so we do not have to control whether it is going to well, shoot or not. And one thing in particular, which I was kind of not enjoying that much, is that if we switch to a tank, you can see, or well, let's produce another one. It's probably going to be a little easier this way, and we're going to need them anyway. So as you can see, the button or the key F5 is actually setting the tank to sentry mode, and F3 is self-destruct. And so in the heat of the moment I was kind of hitting the wrong key every now and then, and blew up my tanks. So that's probably something you have to keep in mind. So let's place another one here, and then maybe let's produce just a fourth one. And then I think we're going to need some more crystals every now. So let's place it here. The nice thing about this new release is that we got some, let's say, new graphics as well. So, I mean, for the C64, we have to keep in mind everything we can see right now, and everything that happens in this game is, well, done by 64K of memory, and with just one single CPU running at around 1 megahertz, and the game is kind of using a real multitasking system. So every unit that acts on itself, every let's say enemy unit and all that stuff, this factory processing and all that things, it all happens in real time, and this is really something that makes this game so outstanding. So it's not turn-based, so there's no time in between C64 can use to think about certain things or something like this. Everything's really happening in real time, and everything is inside this very little amount of memory. As you can see, we get some guests here, and I hope our tanks are going to act accordingly. So let's move away this one, so that we can protect our builders a little bit. And then let's see. It's actually quite hard to see. It looks like it's a dead enemy already. So we are under attack. This flashing screen is showing us that there's something happened at our base. So even if we are far away with our builder, we get some information that something happens. And the interesting thing is that we know that the enemies are coming from the right hand side, and as a little difference to our units, they are able to swim, which we can't do. So basically, if you want to cross some water, then we have to build some bridges. Already carrying something. Yes, I think, yeah, we got some crystal, which we haven't processed right now. So let's do this quite quickly, so that our factory can perhaps build some new stuff. And then we may use this little builder unit to explore the area a little bit. So at the bottom of our map screen, you can see some X and Y coordinates, and you can use this as some orientation basically, so that you have a rough idea where you are. So as you can see, our building, we go back to the building, is at X069 and Y014, which is basically the right hand top corner of the map. So it is very likely that the action takes place somewhere in the middle, or let's say more to the left part of the map. And here we can see that there is some land on the other side. So let's see whether we can build a bridge by using the F6 key. Now the little unit's working. And it is consuming some resources. So this is another reason why you have to keep we're under attack again. Why you have to keep your facility busy. So it looks like we survived. Everything is fine. Let's use this additional builder and grab this crystal from this location. Yep. So after a while you really get used to how to handle your units and how to do all that stuff. And you do this more or less intuitively. Quite a hard word. I have considered using this before, but anyway, I guess you know what I mean. And you may recognize that the gameplay is really optimized for using two hands on a keyboard, and therefore it makes basically not really that much sense to use a different input device, because you really need a couple of keys on access, and makes it really easy to work in this way. And let's see, bridge this. It's still mysterious. As I've said in the video last week, I still have some issues with my OBS. It is really acting a little bit weird, and I'm not sure whether this is related to the most recent update, or because I have kind of rearranged things a little bit. I mean, if you disconnect some USB devices and plug them into different USB ports, Windows is going to go crazy a little bit, and maybe this has confused OBS as well. As we can see, there are some more diamonds on this side, which we can probably use. Let's go back. We may have to remember where the bridge is. Coming. Okay, went well. Drop off. 3. Working. Let's wait a couple of seconds until the processing is done, and then we can process the next mineral, and then we may go and use some or search for something methane gas. Let's move this unit away, and I think we're going to build a couple of solar panels. They may come in handy at a certain point in the game. Try to produce a so there's minerals, I think. So gas refinery, missile silo. So one approach I have used is building bulldozers is much easier and less costly, so to say. And I have used most of the time bulldozers to explore the area, and I was just looking for the enemy base to get the coordinates, which are then used for the missiles. And if you play well, then you basically need just one missile. And I think we have to search for the gas refinery. So pencil. Let's see. So the factory is still working. So let's jump back to our unit and see. I think this is going to be some place where we can... Yes, that's a gas vent. So let's build a refinery on top of it, that we can harvest some gas. Then we may start to search for the enemy base. So I think I built a bridge somewhere at the bottom of the screen. Go. So if you get lost quite frequently, here it is. Okay. So now we have to check. Oh. So that's probably X 20. Then we have to go 19, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30. Perhaps it's 12. And Y is 9, and we have to go up a couple of positions. I think we have to check this. I'm not sure whether this is going to... Missile silo. So factory is ready to build something. Create new builder, create new tank, process mineral. So we have to go to the build missile. Okay. Working. That looks good, actually. So let's go back to the factory and let's build another builder so that we can move a little bit more freely. So we know it's about somewhere in the area of 20 something. Deck. I hope this is going to be handled. Let's solve. So 9. Oh, here we can see it. So our last position was 16 and 6. And we have to go 15, 40, 13. So I was right about this one. 13 and 4 is going to be the position of the enemy base. So let's see if our rocket is already ready. Yes, so now we can adjust the coordinates. And I was saying 13, 6. Then let's see whether we can launch the missile and if this is going to have some impact on the enemy. So we hit something, but it looks like it is still alive, which isn't running according to my plan so far. So we lost the tank and we are heavily under attack right now. So let's jump back to our factory and see if we can create a new tank. Because I got the impression we're going to need this. So, sentry mode, factory, new tank. Probably going to be number 5. Nope. 3. Let's set it here. Sentry mode. And I think we got some bulldozers over there. So let's see if we can. Oops. Make some space here. And then let's build another one. think we are running out of resources, so if we go back to our silo, build missile. Okay, it is working. So I thought we were running out of resources. So let's check what happens to the enemy base. So it looks like there was still some building, or the enemy got already 2 bases. I'm actually not sure if this is... well, haven't played it for a while, so... Getting started attack. After building defense, moving units. Switching between units. Resources getting started. You must destroy all enemy bases on the map to win the game. So it looks like we have to find the other enemy bases, and actually we lost our builder. So I think there's one left. Does not exist. That's a tank, that's a builder. Okay. So let's see whether we can find another base, but otherwise I'm not going to play this too long. I mean, that's just some kind of first playthrough. Assume there's just one, but we have seen enemies coming from the right side as well, so perhaps there's another one on top of the map, somewhere here at the bottom. So let's have a look. Freely here because of the trees. Something we would expect from a place called forest. There's actually here we got a couple of enemies. So where are you coming from? Like they got stuck in the trees as well, but I'm a little bit oops. May have to use a tank in order to find the enemy base. So anyway, as I said, this is just going to be one very first gameplay impression, and well, actually I'm really happy so far with this release, and it runs pretty well. As you can see, the new graphics are really amazing, and unfortunately I can't hear the music, I can't hear the sound, so that's something I really have to check. What's the problem here right now? But as I said, I still struggle with my setup a little bit. I hope you don't mind, but I really wanted to share this very first experience. So, as usual, thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to your comments. And well, that's all for today. Let's play this a little bit longer, and then well, see you for the next episodes. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.